Intro to ASL, Lesson 3. School words. School. So for school, you're going to do 2 open B hand shapes. Your non-dominant hand is going to be face up in front of you. And then the palm of your dominant hand is just going to tap twice. So your hands are going to be aligned like this. It's going to clap twice on top of the palm of your non-dominant hand. School. School. Learn. For learn, your non-dominant hand is going to be in the open B hand shape, like a piece of paper. You're going to take information from your non-dominant hand and bring it up to your head, going from a whatever you would call this hand shape into a pinched O hand shape. So it's going to end in a pinched O. You're kind of picking up the information and bringing it into your brain. Learn. Learn. Teach. For teach, you're going to make 2 pinched O hand shapes and put them in the air by your head. You're going to take the information from your head, bring it out, and take the information from your head and bring it out again. Teach. Teach. The person or agent sign. The agent or person maker sign is, quote, the sign that you add to something when you want it to be a person, end quote. Dr. Bill Vickers. So here's some examples of the use of the person or agent sign. Learn plus the agent sign makes the sign student. And teach plus this sign is the sign teacher. Bake agent is baker. Law agent is lawyer. And cook agent is chef. So this is the person marker. It is 2 open B hand shapes, palms facing each other, moving from shoulder height down to waist height. Agent, person. All right, here we have student, which you see is learn, and the agent marker put together. So we're going to do learn, and then agent. Student. Teacher. So usually for the sign teach, you do move it in that double motion. For teacher, you just go out once and then down into the agent maker. Teacher. Teacher. School subjects. All right, we cannot talk about school subjects without talking about what we like and don't like. So let's go over those signs real quick. For both of these signs, you are going to need the 8 hand shape. So you could do 6, 7, 8. It is your middle finger and your thumb pressed together. We're going to do an open 8 hand shape and put our middle finger and our thumb on our chest. We're going to pull forwards and pinch those fingers together. Like. Like. I like that. I like learning. I like teaching. Like. Don't like. So for don't like, you're going to sign like, but then flick your palm outward and kind of, it's like you're holding something very small in between your fingers. And you just kind of throw it across the room. Don't like. Don't like. I don't like writing papers. Don't like. Class. For class, you're going to do 2 C hand shapes. You're going to put them close to your body with your thumbs together and your palms facing out. You're going to bring them around in a circle so your pinkies are together and the palms are facing you. Class. Class. English. For English, you're going to make an open B hand shape with your non-dominant hand and place it palm down. And then you're going to do a cupped hand shape with your dominant hand and clasp it over your non-dominant hand twice. English. I think of it like a bridge going over a river because England is an island. It doesn't have a bridge going to it, but that's just an easy memory trick for me. English. English. So it's England and then also like the, reading books and writing school subject. Math. So for math, you're going to do 2 open M hand shapes. So M with the 3 bumps, open them up. You're going to put your non-dominant hand on the bottom and your dominant hand on top like this, and then move them, away from each other like this. Math. Math. Do you like math? History. For history, you're going to make the letter H. It is going to start touching your dominant shoulder. And then you're going to move it forwards in a bouncing pattern because history repeats itself. 1, 2, 3. So it just kind of bounces, bounces, bounces. History. History. Spelling or finger spelling. So same sign. You're going to make an open 5 hand shape in the air near your shoulder, kind of in the area that you need to be finger spelling. You can open that up. You're going to wiggle your fingers and move it away from your body. Spelling. Spelling. Or finger spelling. Spelling. Art. You're going to make an open B hand shape with your non-dominant hand. This is going to be your canvas. You're going to turn it to face you, survey the blank space. You're going to take your paintbrush, which is your dominant pinky, and you're going to draw a single graceful squiggle down the middle of your canvas. Art. 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 Music. So for music, you're going to take your non-dominant arm. You're going to kind of cup it like you're getting ready to hold a violin. And then you're going to put your dominant hand in an open B hand shape right over your arm. And it's going to move back and forth. Your palm facing you, away from you, facing you, away from you. It's just going to move to the tune of the music, up and down and all over the place, just back and forth. Music. ASL, American Sign Language. So for ASL, you can just finger spell that. A, thumb alongside your fingers. S, thumb across your fingers, and L. ASL. For American Sign Language, you're going to sign American or America, and then sign, and then language. So let's get started on that. So America is referred to as the Great Melting Pot, if you've heard that before. And that's what I kind of use as a memory aid for this sign. So you're going to mesh your fingers together. It's a bunch of people all coming together, or you can think of all of the stripes on the flag. And you're going to take this hand shape and you're going to stir it around in circles, moving close to you and away from you. And I kind of think of that of like you're holding the mixing spoon and stirring the great melting pot of America. America. Sign, you're going to make 2 one-hand shapes. You're going to point your palms away from you and you're going to swing them around each other like this. A helpful way to think of it is if you had a rubber band on your fingers and you were kind of rotating like that. Like that's kind of how they're moving. A little further away than this. There. Sign. So one hand going forwards, one going back, and then repeating. Sign. And then language. You're going to make two L hand shapes, palms down, and then they're going to move apart from each other like this. A helpful way to think of it is that there's a very bumpy track that the back of your hands is resting on. That's why the thumb part of your L's is kind of bouncing up and down as it moves away. Language. Language. So ASL, ASL, or American Sign Language. American Sign Language. Places. School. All right, you learned this from the beginning of the lesson. See if you can remember. You're going to take this handshake, non-dominant hand on bottom, and your dominant hand on top, and clap them together twice. School. School. Cafeteria. All right, imagine you just took a drink of some milk or some soup and you got it on the corners of your mouth. You could take a napkin, you can wipe those corners off, right? So in a cafeteria where you're eating, you're going to make a C hand shape, C for cafeteria. You're going to wipe one side of your mouth, your dominant side first, and then go over and get the other side of your mouth. Cafeteria. Cafeteria. Room. So for room, you kind of picture it as being a box like this. It has the two long sides and then the two short sides. So you're going to make the long sides first by taking two open B hand shapes with your palms facing you. Your non-dominant hand, my hand with my ring on it, is going to be away from your body with your dominant hand closest to you. So you're going to start off like this. You get, okay, we got those two walls. Long walls are in place. Then you're going to flick your hands out to show the two shorter walls of the room. Room. I'm going to show you more of an aerial view by tipping real quick here. Room. Room. Classroom. Now you're going to take the sign class and room and put them together. So class with the C hand shapes and then room. Classroom. Classroom. Auditorium or theater. You're going to take two clawed 5 hand shapes, put them palms down in front of you, and bring them up like the seats on the sides of an auditorium. You know where they go up? They're all tiered, that kind of thing. Auditorium or theater. Gym. For gym, you're going to make 2 X hand shapes. You're going to put them in the air like you're ready to lift some weights and kind of move them around in some up and down circles. Kind of look like an 80s music video workout. Excuse me. All right, hall. So like you can see in this picture, how the hall is kind of getting narrower as it goes further down. The sign for hall looks very similar to that. So what you're going to do is you're going to use your hands to be the outside walls. You're going to start them a little bit of ways from each other, kind of close to your head. And then going to bring them away from you and closer together as you go. Hall. Hall. Basement. So this is for my HomeLink students where we have the basement in our school. So your non-dominant hand is going to be open B hand shape, palm down as kind of the, below the floor. You're going to use a thumbs up handshake and move it around in circles. Basement. Basement. School verbs. Our first word is read. So you're going to use your non-dominant hand in an open B hand shape as a page. Again, you're going to look at that page with your two eyes and you're going to read it. So just your eyes looking over a page. Read. Read. Write. You're going to write like you did when you were a little kid where you couldn't write letters yet and you just kind of scribbled on a piece of paper. You're going to use a pinched G hand shape as your pencil and you're just going to move it in a line or two across your paper open B hand shape non-dominant hand. Right. Right. Can. You can make two S hand shapes and drop them down. Can. I think I can. I think I can. Can. Start. So for this sign, I usually think of the ignition of a car. So you're going to take your non-dominant hand in an open B hand shape, but you're going to open up a little bit of a space in between your index and middle finger, like that. Turn it over here. Then you're going to take your dominant index finger and pretend it's a key. You're going to insert it, palm down into your ignition and give it a little turn towards you. Make sure that you aren't squeezing your hand too tight. We don't want to twist our fingers. It should be able to move around fine in there. So palm down, moving to palm facing you. Start, like starting a car up. Start. Finish. For finish, you're going to take both hands, palms facing you, and then flip them so your palms are showing. Finish. Finish. Know. As in to know something. So you're going to make a open B handshake, and it is going to tap onto the top of your head where your knowledge lives. Know. Or you will see me signing it this way and some other people also signing it where they kind of place it more on their cheekbone. You can see Dr. Bill Vickers doing that here. No. It's just a little bit easier than lifting your arm up all the way to get to the top of your head. And as someone with glasses, I'm likely to just knock them off my face if I do this wrong. So no. Or no. Study. Once again, non-dominant hand and open B hand shape as a piece of paper. You're going to point a 5 hand shape at it and then wiggle your fingers and hope you absorb all the information. Study. And kind of move back and forth a little. You're just kind of like, get in my brain. Study. Study. Sit or chair. So this is an example of ASL words where one movement is used for the verb and then 2 movements of the same sign are used for the noun. So sit, you're going to take 2 U hand shapes, palms facing down. Your non-dominant hand is just going to stay still on the bottom. And for sit, you're going to tap it on once. Sit. For the sign chair, you're going to tap twice. Chair. Sit. Sit. Chair. Chair. Sit. School nouns. We're going to reverse the order of that. Chair, being a noun, has the double motion. So 2 taps. And then sit, as a verb, has the single motion, which is 1 tap. Like when you sit down in a chair, you just boom, sit, sit, chair. Book. This is pretty straightforward. You're just going to put your hands together and open them up like you're opening a book, and your pinkies are the binding. Book. Book. Can you read book? Can you read a book? Paper. For this sign, I always imagine paper coming out of a printer. So what you're going to do is your non-dominant hand is going to be palm up, and then your dominant hand is going to come down at an angle. So your fingers are pointing towards your non-dominant side. It's going to bump into the tray of the printer kind of, and it kind of bounces out. You know, when you print something, it comes out like burp, burp. It's kind of similar to that. Paper, paper. Note that this is not the sign for print, just for paper. Paper. Just easy memory aid. All right, pen and pencil. So you're going to have to think of one of those very old pens that you had to wet on your tongue before you could get the ink to come out. You're going to make a pinched G hand shape. You're going to not really tap it to your tongue. So you just kind of tap it close to your mouth like that. And then write a squiggly line on a piece of paper. So pen or pencil. Desk. You can do 2 open B hand shapes. I'm going to put them like this, so your fingertips are going to line up with your elbows. Your dominant arm should be on top, and you're going to slap them together twice. Desk. Same for table, desk. Do you have a desk? Desk. Bell. All right, so for bell, non-dominant hand, open B hand shape, but facing up this time. And this is like the side of the bell. And then you can use a Q hand shape for that little dangly clinky bit on the inside. It is going to smack up against the side of your bell. Ding, ding, ding. Bell. Bell. Story. So for story, there's 2 different ways that you can sign this. The first one is with 8 hand shapes, so 6, 7, 8. All right, gets a little bit complicated here. Stick with me. So you're going to open those fingers up. You're going to turn your non-dominant hand sideways like this. Put your fingers over each other. You're going to squish them together and slide them across, and then flip your hands and do the same movement. Story. I've heard it described as squishing a marshmallow. It's all sticky. You're kind of holding it with your fingers. You pull it apart and you like change your position to squish it back together and pull it apart again. That kind of a swoosh, swoosh kind of a movement. Story. Story can also be signed with more of a pinched O hand shape. That's a little bit simpler to see what you're doing. So your non-dominant hand is going to start sideways. You're going to slide your hands together, turn them, and slide them the other way. So you're going to kind of alternate which hand is facing which way. Story. Or story. Assignment. For assignment, you're going to make 2 A hand shapes. Your non-dominant hand is just going to sit palm down in front of you. Your dominant hand is going to do a swoop and land on top of it. Assignment. Like, do you have a lot of assignments? You got them all in a row, you bump them all, tap it down. Assignment. Assignment. You do a little swoop and then land. Assignment. You kind of know what you need to do, not just wandering around. Assignment. Homework. All right, this is made up of two signs. You have home and then you have work. So home uses a pinched O handshake. You tap it first onto your jawline and then you tap it up onto your cheekbone. I think of home as where you eat and where you sleep. So where you put food in your mouth and then where you lay your head down to rest. Home. Home. Work is two S handshakes, non-dominant hand on the bottom. Your dominant hand is going to tap on top of it twice. Work. It's kind of your wrists are what is tapping together. Work. And you could think of hammering in a nail for some very classic carpentry building work. And then for homework, you take those two signs and you mash them together. So you have home and then you have work. Homework. Homework. Test. So for test, you're going to start out with these little crooked question mark looking fingers. They're going to start palm facing out up the top. And then you're going to move your hands down into open 5 hand shapes. So it's a bunch of questions in a row on a piece of paper. Test. Test. You see him signing it? Test. Program. So for program, you could think of it like a dance recital or a play program. You're going to do an open B handshake as your piece of paper. You're going to take the letter P, start it at the bottom of the front of your hand, your palm. It's going to go up and then go over the top and go down the back. So you can think of the list of names is on both sides of the paper. Program. Program. Broom. So for broom, you are going to grab a broom handle. Think of a broom like this, the push kind. You can grab the handle with your dominant hand on top and give the floor a little brush. Broom. Broom. Janitor. So for janitor, you're going to take the sign for broom and you're going to add the agent sign onto it. Janitor. Counsel or advise. So for this sign, you can picture Lucy from the Peanuts sitting at her booth. You're going to put your hand out as a little tabletop in front of her. And then she is going to say words from one side to the other. She's going to give you some advice. Advise. Counsel is a double movement. Counsel. And advice is usually just the one. Advice. Counsel. Advice. For counselor, you're going to sign counsel and then add the agent marker. So counsel and then agent sign. Counselor. Here's a couple helpful words. We've probably gone over these before, but just for a quick review. We have good, which is where you take your dominant hand from your chin and land it palm down in your non-dominant hand. Good. Good. Then we have yes. You're going to make an S hand shape and nod it up and down like you're nodding your head. Yes. 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 For no, you're going to make a kind of a 3 handshake. And you're going to pinch those fingers together. So it's actually taking an kind of an open in and then making it into a kind of a pinchy O. So it's kind of those letters, no, and O. You can snap that in people's faces. No. No. Right or correct. This is 2 index fingers. Your non-dominant hand is sitting on the bottom with your finger pointing towards your dominant side. And then you're just going to crisscross, so your dominant hand is pointing to your non-dominant side. And it's going to tap on top of each other. That's right. Correct. Right. Correct. And here's a couple very important words just to go over. Again, you're going to use so you're going to have an open B handshake for your non-dominant hand, palm up. And then your dominant hand is going to be in a bent B handshake. It's going to start palm up and then flip over so your fingertips land in the middle of your non-dominant hand. Again. 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 Understand. Understand, you're going to take your index finger and tuck it under your thumb, put it up next to your head and flick it up. Oh, a light bulb moment, I understand. So it just tucks and then flicks up. Understand. Understand. For don't understand, you're just going to shake your head as you sign. I don't understand. You know, your facial expression and shaking your head is just going to go, I don't understand that. You get it? Nope. And then last word is slow or slowly. So for this, your non-dominant hand is going to be in an open B handshake, palm down. And then you're going to take a slight bent handshake with your dominant hand. You're going to start at your fingertips and you're going to slide back to your wrist. Slow. Slow or slowly. Slow. All right, guys, that's it for this lesson. Great work. You're doing a wonderful job. Keep signing, keep practicing, and I will see you in class.